So were you actually in the Korean War and Vietnam, or just
Both. Yeah.
both? Yeah.
I caught the tail end of the Korean War.
Right.
Never got shot at except by our side one time.
Oh, really? There's
Yeah.
some friendly fire?
Yeah. Yeah. Some drunk GI some night, one night. Yeah. And I never fired a shot in anger at anyone.
Right. What's kind of the story behind the drunk guy? How did that even happen?
I don't know. I don't know who it was. We were flying that night, which we always, most always did in the B-26. I was flying on, I was the gunner on that one, gunner engineer.
Hmm.
We're flying at night, and I'm sitting in the gunner's compartment looking out the side window there, and I see the red balls going up. Red balls are tracers,
Yeah, yeah.
and ours are red and ours are green. And these were red, and it didn't dawn on me for a second. Holy crap! They're shooting at me. Yeah, yeah, that's the only action I ever saw from our side.
Wow.
But then it was a fun night. I love the B-26. I still do. Fine little airplane.
Right.
Yep.
What part of the plane were you a gunner in?
They had, I flew two positions when we were flying bombing runs with the Norden bomb site. The navigator was in the nose, and I would ride right seat. I was flight engineer,
Okay.
so I was an engineer gunner. The other time I was in the gunner's compartment, which was after the Bombay, which were a remote control turret, and it had a periscopic sight that would flip over from up above the aircraft and to below the aircraft. I could actually turn it around and look under the body of the aircraft and see her.
Mm.
Really cool. Yeah, fun times.
Yeah, really. You could probably move that closer to him. Um,
Not picking up.
I think it's picking up well. I just want to. I usually do that for everybody. So, um, so what was kind of the first like thought in your mind of like I would like to join the military? You know, like how did that kind of first dawn on you of a possibility?
Well, it's a strange thing. Excuse me. I had two brothers in the Navy at that
Oh,
time,
okay.
and up until Friday, I wanted to join the Navy.
Right.
And Saturday, I joined the Air Force.
Right.
So, some probably misguided thing about one brother that was killed in the Second World War. I was in the Air Force as a gunner, so that's what I wanted to do.
Mm. Okay.
So I got into basic training, and they asked us all what we would like to do, and I said, well, I want to be a gunner. And they figured if I was dumb enough to do that, they'd come and help me.
Right.
Then we'll allow you.
Yeah. So I went to gunnery school in the B-29 in Denver, Colorado. And at the completion of that, they asked for volunteers to go to the B-26 in Korea, and I, of course, volunteered, being very intelligent at the time. And wound up there, combat crew training in Langley, Virginia, and survival training instead in outside of Reno, Nevada, and on to Korea. I got there, 2 or 3 days before the war ended.
Oh wow.
So I
Yeah.
get I get the medal, but I didn't do any of the shooting. So,
Right.
okay, yeah, that's that.
2 or 3 days before. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is crazy. You were 17, correct, when you joined? Um, I think is that still the actual law that you can be 17 now?
your parents have to sign for you.
Oh, okay. Looking back, do you think that was like too young or that should be changed?
Well, looking back, I would not have done that. I would not have quit school in the first place.
Oh, right, right.
But uh, did take the GEDs later, and so I did graduate in the way. But anyway, yeah, I was too young. I should have stayed, and I could have been an officer. I could have been the pilot instead of the
Right.
gunner. But that's the
Right.
only thing I read there. But being a gunner, I loved it.
Mm.
I was young and stupid, like we all are at that age.
Right.
And you're that age, aren't you?
There you go. What
Yeah,
exactly is involved in that job? Like,
being a gunner.
yeah.
Well, mostly, like they say, hours and hours of sheer boredom, punctuated by moments of stark terror. So that's the way it is. My job was to defend the aircraft if we were attacked by fighters.
Right.
But I did a lot of ground strafing. We would come down and fly around a target, and I would annihilate it with my guns. I was
Right.
really good with that too.
Huh?
If you were on a football field, you wouldn't get off the field.
Right.
50 caliber is an awesome weapon.
Yeah, definitely. And then when you first joined, was there a lot of training? Because it sounds like you pretty much were in the field pretty soon.
Oh yes, well, I enlisted in '52, and came back from Korea in '53. So it was the gunnery school, the B-29 gunnery school was the longest I'd spent in Denver. And then the very short course for the B-26, and then combat crew training in Virginia, that was only a month or two, and then on over to Korea.
Right. Is the Air Force training the same as what you would see for like the Army in like films where it's very like strict and very hard-headed, I guess, if you could say?
No. The rah-rah stuff, no, we didn't have that. It was a school situation.
Right, yeah.
And the only time I got marked at was in basic training, which wasn't bad at all. If they do that to everybody,
Right.
it's make your life miserable. Is the goal. But we had a pretty good DI as a drill instructor. Sergeant Hadley, as I remember. He's a three-striper. And at that point, the Air Force was going from the brown shoe to the blue outfits, They call them the brown shoes. And some guys were still wearing brown uniforms, some of the old NCOs. And they came out with the Air Force thing, and he said, Buck Sergeant, the ranks in the Air Force were Airman Basic, Airman First, Third Class, Bucking Class was a corporal, Airman Third Class was an old sergeant, okay? And they decided the sergeant was going to be an Airman First Class. And our DI was very upset. I'm not no goddamn Airman First Class, I'm a Buck Sergeant. So, that's some of the old guys thought that way. Transitioned into the brown shoes. It used to be the Army Air Corps.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then in 1947, it was changed into the Air Force, United States Air Force.
Right, okay. And then were airplanes already kind of an interest of yours, or did that all come from being in the job?
I came from being in the job. Like I said, I wanted to go in the Navy up until Friday.
Right.
And Saturday I joined the Air Force. I was looking at the submarines. That's why I wanted to
Oh,
go.
okay.
Submariner?
And now
Yeah.
that would scare the hell out of me. I got claustrophobia.
Oh, yeah.
I probably wouldn't work so good. I didn't have it then, really. So bad. I wouldn't have got through the survival training if they hadn't.
Right.
We were captured during survival training and put in a concentration camp and interrogated, and then they had the black box. Okay, they'd shove you in there and you're all scrunched up like this.
Oh,
No, I
man.
couldn't do that now. That'd drive me
I could
bananas.
never do that. I got the same issue.
Yeah.
Man.
But made it through there. But then after that, only in my later years did I start getting the claustrophobia thing. Anyway, old soldiers never die. We just smell that way.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. That sounds horrible. The box thing,
Yeah.
I could never.
It's designed to be horrible, and it's very effective.
Right.
The schedule, we knew what was going to happen. And
Oh, yeah.
I've been in the box maybe 3 times. And I'm into my last interrogation. Yeah. And the guy jumped up and the face right here said, "How would you like me to spit in your face?" And I said, "How'd you like to get knocked in your ass?" Back in the goddamn box, I went real smart 4 times I've been. I had enough at that point.
Right.
they make it as miserable as you can. It's very realistic, actually, the training that we got, how to resist interrogation and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I imagine there's places on the plane that are pretty claustrophobic too.
The only one I didn't like in particular was tail gunner in the B-29. That's you're all alone back there. I mean, you're in this little compartment, and you got your gun sight, and your seat folds down. You come in a door, pressurized door underneath the seat, and then fold the seat down. And you're in there. Period.
Right.
And I didn't care for that, but it didn't bother me at that time. I did it, but I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be a tail gunner. I was the waist gunner, left waist, on both that and the B-50. Well, that's another story. B-50. I got a lot of stories. I love them. I love them.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
I ain't been this high Perkins in a long time. I ain't been this high Perkins in a long time. I took 2 30s and a half of a third one. I feel like I can see everything with my third eye. Feel like I'm floating, see the world from a bird's eye view. These drugs remind me of a girl I knew. A little sweet, a little sour, and it vibes with the mood. Ain't no competition, baby, but I'm higher than you. Pray to God I never come down.